Online tutorial for our flipped classroom. Every video you see will have me, will have a whiteboard, and we'll have a PowerPoint that's attached to it that I will go through with you. So, what are we going to do for our first lesson? Let's have a look. Our first lesson is titled, The Formula and How to Use It. So our TEF gave us a great definition of a formula from Google a while ago, but let's go over it again. The definition of a formula is a group of mathematical symbols that express a relationship or are used to solve a problem. You can see that we have the compound interest formula to our right. This is a problem we need to solve, and we use a formula to do it. In this case, the formula for our compound interest is amount equals P outside of 1 plus R to the power of N. So what is a formula made up of? This is important. Let's have a look. Pronumerals. These are the letters that you find in algebra that every formula will contain. Symbols, such as equals, minus, plus, times, brackets, all the symbols in maths that you see before. Now the next two parts are very important. Every formula will have a subject. The subject is what you are trying to find. If you look at the compound interest formula next to us, I have circled in red the subject, A. A is what we're trying to find. In the compound interest formula, we're trying to find the amount of compound interest over time. Therefore, A is the subject. A good clue is the subject will always appear on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Always. Number 2 are values, and you can see these that are circled in green. Values are also known as variables. They are the pronumerals, the values that we have to use in our formula to solve it. In this case, again, the compound interest formula has 3 different values or variables. P, the principal, R, the rate, and N, the number of terms. So let's look at how do we actually use a formula, because this is the part that needs to allow you to get more confidence when you're doing exams. Please just follow these steps. Number 1, write the formula first. You can see on the right hand side, I'm still using the compound interest formula, and I've written A equals P outside of 1 plus R to the power of N. That is our formula. Therefore, write it first on your piece of paper. Number 2, write your values next to your formula. The values will depend on the information you were given and on the formula that you're working with. In this case, our values are P, R, and N. So I will always write these next to my formula, usually on the right-hand side, as you can see in the form of P equals something, R equals something, N equals something. Number 3, substitute your values into your formula. And you can see that I've substituted each of those coloured question marks in for the original values in my formula. Number 4, calculate your answer. Use your calculator, and if you use it well, you will have a correct answer in the end. So let's go over the steps one more time. 1, write your formula first. 2, next to your formula, write your values. 3, substitute. 4, calculate. So let's do a few of these actually on the board together. Alright, as we know, if we're trying to solve different problems in maths, you will have a different formula every time. So let's look at a formula that we've been looking at recently about area. Number one, let's look at area of a square. As I said, this is a whole new problem to solve. Therefore, it will always have a new formula. The formula to find the area of a square looks like this. A equals x squared. I'm going to draw a square next to the formula so we can keep this in mind. If I have a square where each side is 4 centimeters long, these are my x's. So, happily, we've done step 1. We've written our formula down. Step 2. Write your values next to your formula. X equals 4. Step 3. This is the part where you need to substitute. So, we take our values from the right-hand side and we substitute them into our formula. If x equals 4, we must put the 4 into the formula where x is. Therefore, a becomes not x squared now, but 4 squared. Number 4, if you can remember from the video, from the PowerPoint, we now need to calculate. Hopefully you don't need to use your calculator for this one. 4 squared is 4 times 4. Calculate it, and you will get your answer, A equals 16 centimeters squared. Let's have a quick look at it. 1, we wrote our formula. 2, we wrote our values. 3, we substituted our values into the formula. 4, we calculated our answer. Let's do this again for something else. Let's say with this time we have a square that has sides of 5 centimeters long. We want to find the area of the square. So therefore, we use a formula for the area of a square. Area equals x squared. We've done number 1. We've written our formula. Step 2. Come on, Arvatef. Exactly. Write our values on the right-hand side of our formula. X equals 5. This is the question I'm solving. Therefore, in this question, x has a value of 5. I also like to put a box around my values, just to make sure that they're there. We've done step 1. We've written our formula. We've done step 2. We've written our values on the right-hand side. Now we need to do step 3. Have a think about it. Correct, Amani. What we need to now do is substitute our value for x into the formula. And a no longer equals a equals x squared. A now equals 5 squared. Alright, our very last step. So Nim, I hope you've got this one. We need to calculate. Write your formula, write your values, substitute, and very lastly, calculate. So what's 5 squared? Use your calculator if you need to. 5 squared is 5 times 5. Area, therefore, equals 25 centimeters squared. Good job. All right, let's do one more. As I said, every problem is different in maths. So this time, let's look at finding the area of a rectangle. This is a rectangle. We are solving a new problem. Therefore, every new problem has a new formula. I give you these. Look at them carefully. The area of a rectangle is given by a formula. A equals length times breadth. So let's look at a rectangle that has a length of 3 centimeters and a breadth of 2 centimeters. And let's find the area of this rectangle. 1. Write your formula. Area equals length times breadth. We've written it. Done. 2. Come on. Absolutely. Write your values on the right-hand side of your formula. If the question is asked us to find the area of a rectangle with a length of 3, we will write L equals 3. If it has a breadth of 2, we will write B equals 2. And we'll put a box around it. Okay, on to step 3. Hold on, hopefully you've got it. We now need to substitute our values back into the formula. A no longer equals L times B. If we substitute, A equals 3 times 2. Now we're on to our last step. We now need to calculate our answer. Underneath, we will solve 3 times 2. Do it on your calculator if you need to, but you will find you get an answer of 6 centimeters squared. The last thing I want to show you, look at your equal signs. Your equal signs need to be above and below each other. We call this alignment. Keep your equal signs in alignment. We want to do one more? Why not? Let's look at a whole new shape. What about the area of a circle? I'm going to draw a circle. As I said before, this is a whole new problem. Therefore, it will come with a whole new formula. The circle, and when you're trying to find the area, will always give you a radius. Therefore, in our formula, area equals pi r squared. We'll give you the formulas. Don't be worried about that. You need to know how to use it. So, what are our 4 steps to use the formula? We've completed number 1. Write your formula on your paper. Step 2. To the right-hand side, write your values. And in this case, we only have r. Let's say this circle has a radius of 3 centimeters. Our value for r, therefore, will be 3. Step 3. Substitute your value into your formula. Keep your equal signs aligned. Our formula now becomes pi times 3 squared. We have substituted 3 in for r. Step 4. Calculate. Pi times 3 squared. If you calculate 3 squared on your calculator, you'll get 9. That's an easy step to make. Let's go further and actually do this on our calculator. Grab it out. pi times 9 equals. Let's write this as our final answer. 28.27 centimeters squared. So very lastly, let's go over our 3 steps. 1. Write your formula. 2. Write your values. 3. Substitute your values into your formula. 4. Calculate your answer. Please know that every different problem will always have a different formula. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed our first lesson. I will always tell you what's going to happen next time I see you. So, our next lesson, let's go back to our PowerPoint, is going to be on how to use formula to find the area of different shapes. Next lesson, I will go through more shapes, not just a square, not just a rectangle, not just a circle, and show you how to use formulas for each one. Because once again, every different problem has a different formula. You need to know how to use it. Alright, you 10. Have a lovely day.